Rangers are out of Europe at the round of 16, beaten 1-0 tonight by Benfica, 3-2 on aggregate. Craig Moore, Rangers legend, what do you make of it tonight? Was it just one game too much?
It looked that, Paul. It looked that. Look, for a large part of the game, Rangers were right in the match and kind of felt the longer it went, with the tight margins, concentration. And in the end, Rangers find themselves actually in a good position themselves from a corner 4. And Benfica then break and hit Rangers on the counter, which is a sore one to take. In the end, it was a really good finish from Rafa Silva because there was shouts for potential offside. Clearly wasn't offside. He was in his own half. But Rangers will be disappointed with that. But again, it's been a hectic season. They've been running into a lot of injuries. In this competition, they've been really, really good, but they've come up against a Benfica team tonight that looked as if they had that quality and that know-how to get through this tie, get through this leg into the last 8 of the competition.
Peter, were you surprised that Rangers didn't put them under more pressure after they went a goal down?
100%. It's easy to be the manager sitting here, Paul, and as I say, the best manager always sitting in the stand or whatever, and me sitting watching on the television. And I look at it and I just think it was too easy for the centre-backs, an important period in the game. And as I spoke about, I think their 2 best crossers are Ridvan and Tavernier. They never got up high up the pitch because they still had wide players. I'd have moved Silva, if he was going to keep the centre forward on or not keep him on, I'd have moved Silva closer to the roof, put them under a little bit of pressure when they were getting set plays. I'm not a great believer in outswinger anyway. I know probably people do it and whatever, but I always think, see, if you think you're an in-swinger, if it's going in the way anyway, it's going towards their goal. As soon as it's out the way and you don't deal with it, all of a sudden you're on a counter.
You've lost the advantage.
You've lost the advantage. And Rangers' set plays at that particular time were very, very poor, and it cost them dearly. And that is the fine line, because Rafa Silva, 1 chance probably over the 2 games, and he's taken it. And that is the difference. And I just thought they'll be disappointed the way I think they went out with a whimper in the last 10-15 minutes. And I just thought they never get enough opportunities then.
Sorry, just looking at the goal, we wanted to see it back because they pulled it back for a VAR check. Don't know if you just caught it there, just at the end of the coverage on TNT, or as they headed into a break there. It was cruel for Rangers. They'd been on the attack there. It was a breakaway.
It's a sucker punch. Yeah, like I said, at that stage, Rangers are in a good attacking position themselves. Dessers looks as if he's trying to get the turn and get a shot off, and Benfica clear their lines. And Rangers, again, defensively, and I say, you've always got to expect the worst case scenario. So even when you're attacking, in terms of the players that were back for Rangers, I guess the organisation wasn't quite there. And, Benfica have executed the classic sucker punch. You can't take away anything from the finish from Rafa Silva because, again, there was probably speculation while the play was still ongoing, offside. But he finished it. He finished it well. And it was a crucial goal in this match because it just gave Benfica that belief and the ability to be able to see the remainder of the game out.
When you're taking that set play, Paul, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking a lot of teams do it now. They have 3 at the edge of the box so you don't get done in the counter. So they had 3 players on the edge of the box and they had 2 back. But it looked all over the place once the ball was cleared, as if people weren't in the right area, they weren't set up right. There is no way they should concede the way they did. That'll be a massive disappointment for the manager. People saying, I keep getting back to it. I just think, if I'm looking at I'm Connor Goldstein and John Souter and whatever, and aggressive in there, I'm thinking to myself, go on, put this right in here, and we're going to ask questions of this goalkeeper. Yeah, we've done an outswinger a couple of times, it's not quite worked, but let's put one in right under the bar and see what they're made of. But they didn't. And their set plays for that area of the pitch were really disappointing. And it's, as I say, it's cost them dearly. But when you're thinking you've got 5 players outside the box and you concede the way you did, because it's for the halfway line, and we've seen it right away. We're fortunate enough, the way we're watching it, you can see his foot still in his own half, and we were quite surprised that the referee even called it back in the first time. But that's all these guys need. That's why they get into the next rounds of competitions. They defend well. I didn't think they needed to do it. I thought they defended the crosses well in the first half. I thought it was eeksy peeksy the first half. I thought the second half Rangers started better actually. And then the Benfica grew into it, and then when they conceded a goal, I just couldn't see Rangers scoring. And I don't know, and as I say, I can understand why the manager made the substitutions he did. But Craig made a good point. Maybe you're not wanting to go for it in case it gets any extra time. But he still had Silva on there who could have went as centre forward for me and still played up there and made it a little bit more difficult and allowed Yilmaz to be the wide player in that particular occasion.